Just gotta feed the cats, that's all. Cat's food. Before I forget. Okay, you had enough of it for 6 minutes. Welcome to Sparta. And I see some people already being in, and they've liked, which is good. This is set up right. All messages. How are you going? Welcome to Sparta. I am the Archangel Michael. Michael the Archangel is who I am. Well, what the week? What the interesting week. How interesting? Well, people make mistakes. People often judge before they find out what's going on. And yes, earlier on this week, I wasn't a moderator. And it took 48 hours to work out I was again. Just a slight hiccup, miscommunication, but you get that. Like I said, why would I go off about someone when I just protected them for so long? See, that's the difference between the Archangel Michael and his wisdom and the rest of these trolls. And that's what they are. Nothing but trolls. Trolls. Otherwise, why would they instantaneously take to hate? Must have trolls in their heart. Well, let us get a bit of sanctity in the chat. And now, time for the best content on YouTube. The Lord's Prayer. People popping in and out, in and out. What is Archangel Michael all about? Well, he's all about protecting those that he fights for on YouTube. There's no need to be a question. What's he all about? What's this guy all about? Is he a question mark? Is he there? No. He's none of that. He's just that. There's only one that's ever going to be sent again. And that's it, right here in front of you. That's him. And it's not a design I've come up with. It's something I've had to grow with. Something. Been dealing with these guys all my life, in one form or another. I can tell you stories that turn you completely clear. Not just white, but clear of all color. And scare the shit right out of you. I have a question. Question that Jag asked. Why does she get trolled? Well, people hate for no reason. That's the truth. People can hate for no reason, just like people hate Trump for no reason, just because they don't agree with him. He said, don't drink water. Those people that don't agree with him probably wouldn't drink water. But the question is, it's going to seem a bit queer, but I say, I love you. Probably thinking you don't even know me. But like I said, if people can hate for no reason, why can I not love and care for no reason? Even if I don't know that person. And I don't really know Jag at all. Other than what we do online. About a little bit about her history. And, well, I can deduct things for myself. But whether that's true or not is another story. I would find out if I talked to her face to face, away from prying eyes. I'd find out all I need to know, but that's another story again. Well, now the best content on the whole of YouTube, the Lord's Prayer. It takes God all this time and effort into us. It literally only takes 30 seconds if you really want to pump it out, but a minute to do the Lord's Prayer. Even in the grandiose way that I can do it, it still only takes a minute. So he's worth a minute of our time. So here we go. Here we go. Get the etherealness happening. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but to deliver us from evil. Hail Mary, full of grace. Amen. And now we have God in the chat, God in my night, and God in your day, and God wherever you are on this glorious earth. A wondrous earth this is. But one of the things that's a sign of the next coming is that the environment crisis. So we're not taking very good care of our mother. And that's what she is. She's the mother. It's the one that birthed us all. A little bit of help from God. How about that? If you can't work that one out, well, You got your head in those books too much, guys. Too much indoctrination. And trying to teach the indoctrination out of people that have been told it for thousands of years and believe what anything that's put in front of you or whatever Google, Wikipedia says, that's what you believe. But that could be rewritten and rewritten again to any fashion that the leaders wish. That's how you maintain power. See, when it come to the Christianity church, there was only really the first one, and that was the Roman Catholics started it off. Besides others, they didn't call themselves Christians. It was only when Emperor Constantine declared that faith to be the new faith of the Roman Empire that it was Christianity came into the name. And also, the name of Simon turned to St. Peter, because before that, he was known as Simon. So Emperor Constantine refashioned the Bible in his meaning, and it was written in the old style of Latin. Not many people could read that days, especially old style of Latin. Even now it's hard to read without the translation next to it. And English came along, the language of English. A lot of people could read that. That's how they learned it. Right? And in the 14th century, a man come along and he said, well, the Catholic Church maintains the power base by keeping everyone dumb to this book. Because originally they didn't give no one that Bible. They just kept it for the preachers and the leaders of the church. And maybe the kings and queens of the land. That's what they did. This is a fact. This is a true fact. This is what led to the difference in the church. Because this man, he translated that words of Latin into English. And people in England and around the world that knew English could read that, started to understand the word of God, started to question the acts of the Catholic Church. And it was when the King of England decided to declare a new religion of Christianity. So the Catholic Church believes the Pope is the closest to God. And the Protestant Church in England, the Church of England, believes that the King or the Queen is the closest to God. That's why they're the head of the church. And the Catholics couldn't have that. So they waited till that old man died and his daughter took over. Right? And then they had the Spanish fleet try to invade, bring them back to the Catholic side of the church. But they said they didn't succeed. And that is why you have two divisions of the church in that aspect. And all the others that came along with it, they were there, but slowly rose up. Not as powerful as the Catholics. See, it was one stage of the game. All the other Christianity religions refused to allow the Catholics into an area. Because once the Catholic Church got into an area, they absorbed it like a big beast and sucked it all in. It's like Australia, this Australian country. The whole reason why they even colonized West Australia is because the whole eastern coast was colonized. Right? And they were Protestant Christians. Then the Dutch, they were Catholic Christians, were going to come over and take West Australia. So they sent Captain James Stirling to invade West Australia and claimed it under the Protestant Church. It was 100 years before the Catholic Church ever came here. They were shunned like they were Nazis at one stage of the game. They don't tell you that in history, but it's an actual true fact. The Catholic Church hasn't been as strong as you think. Only in the last 100 years that they've regained the strength that we see, and that's all you will know, because that's the narrative that they give. But before that, they were shunned, because they were a bunch of thieves, and all the other religions knew it. But eventually the Catholics moved in, and well, now that's the major faith. The main Christian one is, well, the Catholics in Australia. So there was no lie about when the Catholics put it somewhere, their web spreads more and more. You understand? So, it's all about the knowledge and the power. You got the knowledge, you own the knowledge, you got the power. You can run the narrative. You can indoctrinate everyone to a bunch of shit and have them believe it was the word of God. And that's what has happened. So to try and indoctrinate you from the learnings that you've had is going to be near on impossible. Hello, Tempa. How are you going? The Conference of Nisa. Yeah, well. The movie In the Name of the Rose with Sean Connery in it, and that little bloke and the The one that plays, what's his face? The first set of movies, the bloody, what's his name? Hellboy. That actor. He's the hunchback in that movie, and they burned him in that movie. And they paid, they paid the actor Sean Connery $1 million for that kiss when he kissed that other preach, because he was a different type of preacher from a different sect. And you're right, they had all those different preachers and different sects come there, and the 4 Catholics come in their bloody big thing there, and they had a vote whether the church should have a purse. And they said, well, the deal that, because they was all arguing, the other ones, like the Franciscan monks and that, they were arguing that Jesus never had a purse. And that's when the Catholic ones, they declared, well, this is not about whether Jesus had a purse, it's whether the church should have a purse. And that's that same carved purse you see all over the world in the stone, from all the different cultures and all that. That's the secret. It's not a bag of tricks. It's not a magical fucking thing. It's a fucking purse. Right? Because no religion that man has on this planet can survive without the purse. You understand that? Look what they did to Jesus' band without the purse. They executed them all. And they were the only ones that came in peace. The rest came in war. Isn't that strange? But that's how it rolls. If you look at all these other ones that declare religions, they all came in war. Jesus came in peace and opened up the new faith in the New Testament. That deal that the Jews have with God still stands. But that doesn't affect us. That's their little deal. And they've got to realize they've been backing off that deal ever since they crossed the River Jordan and took the Holy Land instead of being giving it. That's why Moses never followed him in. He said, I can't go any further, Joshua. He said, I'm taking that we're sick of being out here, Moses, 40 years in the desert, Moses. Where's this promised land this God has promised us? We've got to deal with him so we can go forth, because he promised to look after us no matter what we do. And that's the facts. So he will look after them personally. You know, and they say, oh, but we've got a place right there, close to God, closer than anyone else. That's right. So he can keep an eye right on you, because you've all turned the bow. And that's not God at all. So they're playing God off with their little deal that they got. But that's fucking null and void for the rest of us. That's nothing to do. That's their own little bargain. We under the New Testament that Jesus opened up when he bypassed his father's algorithm with his sacrifice. Opened up the path for the rest of us. You read that book. Before the New Testament, only the Jews were going to heaven. The rest of us were going to hell. And Jesus opened up the path for the rest of humanity. And that's a fact. That's all that book is, and what we actually want to worry about. Put that other shit on the side. That's history. We're in Revelations. That's our time right now, because that's the end times. That's where we're sitting. We're in there somewhere. And the way this is going and the way they're talking, well, Revelations chapter 13, 9, verse 50, getting close. Daniel, the second beast, will breathe life into the first beast. When they talk about Daniel, they talk about him as a statue coming to life. They animate it. Well, 2,000 years ago, that's all they could explain. In today's technology, it's AI technology, a robot or a puppet. We'll be listening and plugging away. Is he working over here? Working? Oh, okay. What are you working on, Nick? You're working on those mermaids. Save one for me, Nick. The thing about mermaids, well, the Archangel Michael, he made them. And why I say that is the wives that laid with the fallen 200 that came down to earth and mated with the women, and they gave birth to all those creatures and giants and that, the Nephilim. Archangel Michael cast all those women out to sea, and they all turned into mermaids. Look it up. It's a fact. The same when Jesus went to the town that's out of Jerusalem, overseas, and cleansed the whole town of the demons that was in that town by asking for 10,000 pigs. And those 10,000 pigs ran straight over the top of the cliff and died under the command of Jesus, when he put all the bad souls and bad spirits and bad demons into the pigs. And that's why demons and that, when they do the proper exorcism, the Catholic Church, they use pigs to pull the bad spirit out and put it in a pig, and then they shoot the pig. That's a fact. You might think it's fantasy, but it's quite real. Very scary too. Very scary. Are you in the WWE? No. I don't think Sting was in the WWE. He was in the other one. Maybe, I don't know. There's so many of them at the stage. Well, I reckon they should just unite the whole lot and have a big brawl. But, but that's the truth, Nick. That's the reality of things. You have a look in the history of what Jesus actually did in the book. People, they only quote parts of the book that pretty much everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? Everyone knows the basic Bible, but they don't know the whole Bible. Have you sat there and read it? Fuck, it puts you to sleep. Every time I've sat down and read the Bible, I'm good. I can stay up a few hours. I can stay up many hours reading a book, read a whole book. I should be able to read the whole Bible in one go, but every time I start reading it, within an hour I fall asleep. So it takes over a week to read the Bible. That's just what it is to me, because it's just, this one begets that one, this one begets that, and that begot this, and this begot that. And then we finally get to this man. Old Moses and old Noah. See, Noah, he was given an opportunity by God. He said, Noah, when you go on that boat, you're only going to be provisioned for just over 40 days if you're lucky. So if you don't find land in that 40 days, Noah, you're going to have to make a decision. And that decision is going to be weighed on the rest of humanity forever. So, because God was already wiping out the rest of humanity, it was up to Noah whether humanity was worth continuing on at all. So when you see that movie with Russell Crowe playing Noah, it's kind of close to the truth. What really happened on that boat. Right? The whole idea of 40 days is right through the Bible. So there's a 40-day period, and then the miracle happens. Jesus went in the desert for 40 days. Then the miracle happened. He came out and started his procession, bringing his word to the world. 40 years the Jews had to stay in the desert. 40 days on a boat. 40 days out there, waiting for a dragon. It's the same deal. It's a very significant number in the Bible, 40. It's the sign of faith. And you also look at the Ramadan in the Muslim belief. 40 days fasting. Similar. You know what I'm saying? That's where they drag that from. Why 40 days? Why not just 30? Why did they pick 40? Because it's a significant number. The miracle only happens after 40 days. It's all about faith, clearing your mind and clearing your body and soul. I'm not going to argue with you. I know that the host is Australian. Just ask him. Okay. I love a good who's this here. Is this not an Australian? And no, it's not an Australian accent. I quite put it on. Do you want to hear the real one? Because the real one's like part Aboriginal Australian and part Australian. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely an Australian. And I definitely sound Australian, mate. So yeah, I'm definitely chucking a voice on. Need to usually take the mask off, but that saves argument. Right. Now back to the voice. Do you see? The other day someone thought it was a AI digital bloody thing. No, I just can change my voice. I could do other voices. I'll have to test them out before I put them over here. It might sound weird. But you get that. You get that in the big mix like oil and Octopus Prime. old Skeletor. But that's another story. Well, what fun did we have? They thought I was going AWOL, but I wasn't really. I just had to understand. I'm not going to learn what I need to learn to help them in that sector all the time. I've got to go to this other sector like Van Reckon. This is not usually your sector. I said, no, but I've come to learn. I've come to learn. And the fact is that her making me a moderator, well, sort of gives me that tiny little bit of a security in that area, bit of oxygen, which is great. And for that, I will promote her channel, and she'll be protected, vice versa. Pretty simple. Quite easy. I don't know why people can't understand that. And the fact that people hate her just happen to be the same people that hate on Jag. Same people who I've dealt with, other than Ralph. Well, I'll deal with him. I've had a talk with him. I noticed he didn't kick me out of the chat and let me say what I wanted when Maggie was up there. So, what's his game all about? You know? He's all about getting everyone on there, getting his clicks and licks up, and likes up and views up, where everyone argues on his platform. And he doesn't really please it. But he does choose who he has up on the platform talking on the panel. But if I was such a bad guy and he didn't want to have anything to do with me, why didn't he kick me out of the chat? You see? You've got to watch these things. I said some things, Madge, about her, how she lied at, and I could hear, I heard the sound like huff and the puff. But she didn't react to my name. She just kept bantering on. But she did stop, and I did hear it. Ha, you were reading it. Good, good. You know? So in a way, what's Ralph up to? He's playing the game too, guys. So you got to watch what he's doing. AT2 titties, he shows himself up in every single fucking chat, whether people like him or not, because he's fishing for content, to create content. Gets you over onto his channel, or gets up onto your thing, can create content, see? That's his little feed to keep his little channel going, so he can keep his bets going and his food going until he works out what he's going to do to Jag, or come with someone else with a bigger one, a bigger bullshit scam that creates more views and clicks and licks. You know, that's what it's about. And people go online competing with each other, trying to steal each other's viewers. I find that quite ridiculous, but it happens. Maggie used to go on live every time one of us would go on live. Strange enough. Isn't that strange? And then she would sit there on the side with one thing on the side, watching our lives while she's on her live, seeing whether any of the people in her live are talking on ours. So we get watched all the time. I know, I get watched like a fucking hawk. Shit. I'm glad I don't have any other social media. You know, I really would be able to try to find things on me. Like I keep hearing this woman say, or this bloke say, or whoever the fuck they are, bring out your guns and bring out your drugs. I've never shown guns or drugs on YouTube or any other channel. I've never even mentioned that I've had dealings with it. I mentioned I know about it. I mean, if you don't, then you're pretty fucking blind to the world, or you've had a lucky life. Either or. Right? So, you know, things like, you know, people will come into your chat and they say, oh, I live in Perth, West Australia. I'm loading my gun up now. Oh, yeah. So what is that trying to reference? Going to come around and put the bullet in my head? They're quite welcome. I do be more freely about where the fuck I am than anyone else on YouTube. Because you know why? Well, you'll be like flies coming to the spider. That's not my issue. You want to come here and get bashed? I can quite easily sit here and do that all day long. You want to waste your time? And that's the facts. None of them will, because they're all gutless punks. They only fight and do this online. And I mean, why should I go through the Axe episode again and be a nut? I learnt my mistake there. Don't like it. Still reckon Axe is a good policy. Fucking works. But I learnt, because Nick, see? That's the whole thing, Nick. You've been there right from the start. That's why you got your little special mermaid one. I didn't put you in that story where it's us from the beginning, because you was right there from the beginning. When we all become that team sort of thing back in 2024, in December. We all sort of had that little thing, and we lost Dee first. No, because she got found out with her lies. And then, Maggie, old backstabber, fucking working behind the scenes all the time, getting checks. And I jumped straight away to where we are now, 16 months later. You can't put like 16 months worth of shit in a 1 minute short. It's pretty hard. But I try. I try, and I thought, well, she might have people thinking, gee, Nick was there too. Well, she was. That's why she got the special mermaid one. Not been really over on that fleet with the Jag mob, and that's a fact. I don't have to ask why. She does what she has to do, same as me. But every now and again, she says, go and check this one out, go and check that out. So I'm always on a little bit of a mission for old Sword of Sparta, and that's why she got the special mermaid one. I mean, we both like mermaids, Nick. That's why you're saying, save some for me. Before you dive over. Yeah, right. Okay. I've got to do the thing, because like I said, Archangel Michael, he put their mothers there. So we might have a little bit of a episode where those girls that were your friends go back and their mother's the evil fucking queen. She tells them who that bloke that she's is with. And they might come after us, or they might turn on their mum. Who knows? Your love might pull them over, Nick. Like you said, you're a water goat, and that's true. There's a goat with the fucking water tail. Your star symbol, is it not? So, mine, well, that's a fire. So there's the two elements right there, working together. Always blow you up, and you can always put me out. And that's how that works. So we'll be right on that fucking mission, deep under the ocean in the YouTube fucking depths. And all those doors and those things, so that's all the different content creators we got to go through, thinking there's some sort of fucking hellish lord open up those gates. But I'll find out which one is the main nexus, the troll market. Troll farm, we don't want the fucking troll farms. Troll farms buy stock, bring them in. Like AT2 titties going to every chat. He brings the stock in, or you make that fucking content. If they don't, that's his game. So you've got to look not for the troll farmers, you've got to look for the troll market. Who's selling them? Who's directing them there? Who's the one that's the big one, the big juicy guy? And he's on YouTube, got to do with YouTube. It's not so much what these other guys like we hear Jay-Z and that, because Jay-Z's only going to worry about fucking Jag. Not going to worry about the rest of us. So we can put him out the mix. Rock Nation will have a little bit of something to do if you just keep fucking mentioning them. You keep flapping about them, they will have something to do with you. Maybe that's what you want. But when they do something to you like they do to Jag, then you wish that you never had nothing to do with it. Because then you realize what happens to Jag will happen to you. That's how fucking stupid it is. They want to be famous. When it comes around, they won't not like it knocking on the door. They'll say, take it back. You actually got to be famous to be famous. That's what Jag was. She was famous before all that shit hit her in the face. Before she realized where she was going and it was the wrong direction. I don't know why people like that, but that's what this does. Gives you your own little channel like you're some star. Well, we all stars in our own right. We're all just as good as Jag in our own right because we're all humans. But when it comes to this celebrity thing and online and cameras and music and that, well, she is the top one. All the rest, where are we from? We're some person that's brought the phone, got on YouTube and created a channel. Pretty much. Nothing more. If you want to look at it that way, or you want to look at that we're all a bunch of people fighting for a common cause, that's good, because we all know what the difference between good and evil. We all might have a different idea about things, and who is good and who is evil. But let me put it this way, I wouldn't support you at all if you was fucking evil. Maybe if you was once evil, but I wouldn't support you at all if you was actually evil. I'll attack you like these other ones. Simple as that. And the moment you turn your back on me, well, what could I say? That's what I thought that happened. I thought I left at sea, which pretty much I was, because I didn't have the wrench. And then 48 hours later, I went in there, thought, well, bugger it, I'm not going to be like them, I'm going to leave on good terms. No? And I noticed, well, hang on a sec, I can see everything again, what's going on here? And whether that be because I'm with Bampies, or that, because I know they go at each other. No, Jag doesn't like her, and Bampy doesn't like Jag, otherwise she wouldn't say bad things about her. But she doesn't say bad things about her where she creates content. Maybe a few joke things in her shorts, but not content like these other fucking bastards that rob her content and use it and redo it as their own, make more money from her content, put it on their thing, than she actually makes of her own content. So Vampy's not like that, like the rest of these maggots. So that's why she's not really, no, she's not a threat, she's just venting. I have no problem with that one. That's it. And well, Nick, you led me there. And then you told me go and check that Ralph out. I checked him out. We haven't finished with him. He's still flapping his lip around somewhere. Then you got Black Owl. Black Owl again. That's the cunt that we need. She's just like AT2 titties. Mr. Turner, who owes me 200 years on the Flying Dutchman. Before we let him go to hell. Yeah. He'd be like the rest of them now and that hour. Stab, either side you go. Goodbye, shark food. That's a fact. Sorry, this chat stopped what you were saying. Sorry about that, guys. Hello, Mickey. Troll farm here. YouTube is so much better. Yes, well, that's it. TikTok's a meat market. My TikTok account is monetized. So I can just shut this down, go to TikTok, and I'll start making money. I already got 1,000 in their account there. I haven't even touched, even worried about it. Because it's a meat market. And they make more of their money off those fucking games and shit. One day I might go full on with that when I get this monetized and I can coincide them. That'll be the thing. I do like that Crucible does and invade TikTok from YouTube and has YouTube as my base. And we'll go and invade TikTok and have a crack at all the TikTok idiots. That generates a lot of money. So eventually that happens. But I've had that TikTok account that's been monetized for 2 years and I haven't really fucking worried about it. Seriously, it's not about money with me. It's about creating the message, trying to create my content. I pretty much use TikTok because it's a better bloody put together platform when I put yours together and then I bring them over to here. And vice versa. I can store shit over there and bring that back over. It's amazing what you can do with a telephone if you know what to do. Fuck, I didn't know any of this shit. When I joined up in January and February 2024 was the first time I even had anything online. 2024. Yes. Was it? It might have been. I think so. No, could have been 2023. No. But that's it. I haven't been online. It's not worried me. I haven't worried, but I've been working, been going out in the bush, enjoying myself. If I wanted to know anything online, Kelly, she used to tell me what was going on online. The only thing I really had online was playing bloody Grand Theft Auto. That was great because we used to play it as a family thing. People on TikTok always rage, but yeah, well, that's the thing. This is why my friend, my sister, Gloria Roma's Army, was actually made famous the first off. She was first made a famous TikTok star, right? Because she had 3 million followers. And she does that. She rage baits, but she rages like women that say they'd like to choose the bear before the man. So she's a man's rights advocate. So she'll go through the content looking for those type of women that recognize good that a man trips over and smashes his face in and stuff like that. Or women that beat on men and think it's good. And she'll attack them and say, where's their rights and all that stuff. So I understand what you mean. Because she's made a career of that. Now she's going to different places, but pretty much that's half her content. Half her content comes from what you just said. going on TikTok, picking someone out that's doing something, and then pick on that again and again and again. And what does that create? Hate and hate. Well, old Gandhi said, how you have that old saying, an eye for an eye. He said, well, and a tooth for a tooth. You know what Gandhi said? He said, well, that's really, it works in some fashion, but really, if everyone was that sort of thinking, then the whole world would have no teeth and the whole world would be blind. You understand? Because revenge is like, if I stabbed you in the eye, you would want to take out my eye. And then when you do that, I want to take out the other eye. And then someone would want to take out that one. And vice versa, and that'll keep going. And that person will have someone, my person, will go and take out their eye because they took out my last eye. And it'll continue on and on and on and on until the whole world is completely blind and all your teeth have been smashed off. And then we'll be all running around blind, dumb, speaking babble, like the Tower of Babel. Back to square one. You know what I'm saying? This eye for an eye. Well, it clearly states in the Bible how people should be punished. Look it up. Put it into Google bloody engine. Show me all the bloody phrases where it says in the Bible how we punish people that are bad to us. You'll fucking see them. They'll come out in rows. Even special ones all about how you deal with demons, the best way to deal with demons. God says you shouldn't kill. That's like deliberately plan to someone go out and kill them. But you cannot avoid accidents. People get killed with accidents. You don't deliberately mean to do that, but that's still killing. So there's got to be some sort of a fucking setback clause, you know what I'm saying? He's talking about deliberately killing for your own personal gain or for your own personal lust or for whatever fucking reason. But if you do it accidentally, or you do it when you're fighting and you're trying to defend yourself, and their rage is trying to kill you, what are you going to do? Stand there and let you get stabbed? Turn the other cheek while they take your fucking head off? No, you're going to fight. So if you happen to unalive someone while you're fighting for your own freedom, well, God will understand that. But if you did that under direction and the rules and the rulings of someone like the army, or the king told you to go and kill them, you say, I killed that person because the king told me that won't suffice. God won't like that. You're going to have to come up with something a bit better. You've got to accept the king might have told you, but it's still your responsibility to tell the king to go and get fucked. No, I'm not killing them. That's wrong. You understand? Each person is responsible for their own soul. You can't go through life blaming every other cunt. You've got to blame the person that runs the person's life, and that's you. And that's you. You can blame people for certain things when they fuck you around and mess you around and do wrong things. That's when you can do it. But when you go yourself doing wrong things and moving the wrong way, you can't blame anyone else for that. You've got to blame yourself. And that's how God works. When you start accepting your own responsibility for your own actions, the light that He's given inside you, then you will start to be forgiven no matter what you kind of do. Because you'll be good and you won't be doing anything bad anyway. That's how it works. That's how it works. It's quite easy. It's not hard like we make it. How YouTube make it. Far out. I had a really calm, cool life. Enough to worry about all this. Go out, chase a dragon, go camping, fishing, raise the kids. Lonely, but still was good. But now, this YouTube's like hell. It really is. We're in the bloody warren, or the rabbit warren. These rabbit holes, and it's fucking burning. We have to smoke them all out. Ferret them all out. And well, didn't know what a moderator was until I got made one by Odell. I sure as hell found out very quickly. What a fun time. But I've had fun. I've actually met people I genuinely like. I really like some people. Whether they like me or not, it's another story. That's up to everyone. And I'm having fun fighting the bad guys. We know who the bad guys are. I mean, we might not all be kosher ourselves, what we're doing, but none of us are really bad. It's to be cheeky. But no, against these bad guys, well, fuck them. There want to be no mercy on us, how they don't care. The school of villainy. They'll make money no matter what. like old AT2 chitties, then we should be the school of good. So we don't care about having no mercy, about performing good on the house. And I understand what people say, because I've even heard Jag say this. Don't take people off, teach them a lesson, but don't take the channels. Allow them to be coming back. If they're going to change the tune, well, like Vampy said, don't take the channels, because everyone needs to have to make money. Now, it's not that bad enough on this line here when you call someone a name or say something to somebody or support somebody that they don't like. That's not bad enough to try and create something to fucking take your livelihood away. That's not even enough to create a fucking argument. But we do. We go through whole wars over being said about the wrong thing. Wow, that's crazy. And I mean, look at Maggie. She's made a whole fucking, ever since she bloody left the Ags mob. She made a whole fucking thing of it. And her channel, how many times that's been taken down? So, and you'll find out it's not none of us. It's fucking the ones that she's fucking, Danny, 82, the ones that she sides with are the ones that stab her in the back. Right? Simple as that. That's why Rodden's going off as much as he is about Maggie. Because he's exposing the system that Atwood's got running over there. They don't want that fucking opened up. If she didn't open up her mouth, she probably would have been let back in now. You understand? Because at the end of the day, whether Maggie is a bad asshole or not, she can actually be a good content creator. We've seen it. We know she's able to do the proper research and find the true fucking answers. We've seen that for ourselves. Same with Dee. She's actually a good researcher. A bit mixed up the way she fucking puts things together because it's driven by hate, not driven by fucking actual investigation. But she has good investigation skills. But, like Nick, she's a bullshit artist. Plain and simple. She's like Oda Mae fucking Brown from bloody the movie Ghost. Full on bullshit artist until the ghost really started fucking talking to her. That was a good movie, that one. I like that movie. Old Patrick Swayze and Ghost. Very good movie. Frightened the shit out of me, the sound of those demons when they come and collect the bad soul. Imagine that. Because it's pretty much going to be like that. If you're really a bad person, that's how they come for you. They'll come drag you clean down. And don't think you're not going to feel it. Because only if you're going to go up to heaven and ascend there, we actually get that everlasting life, no pain, all young, beautiful again. No, have a few questions at the gate, slip into heaven. But I'm living proof of the bullshit. Yeah, well, that's it. And, but when you go to hell, like you feel now, like you can hurt yourself now, like you can break your bone now, you don't stop feeling pain. Your soul does not stop feeling pain if you go to hell. This has got to be relied on, see, because this is where you're going is hell. They can't send a soul there that doesn't feel nothing. What are they going to do to a fucking soul that can't feel nothing? Nothing, because it can't feel it. All right? So you go down to hell, like you now feel things, you still feel it down there. And the thing is, you're dead. So you can never die. And there's no fucking day or night in hell because you're in a big fucking black thing that's only lit by bloody flames, if you're lucky. Torches and flames. No electricity in hell. Nothing like you got up here. Nothing like you see those movies where you go in a room and there's a cunt with a typewriter. No. Hell's hell. Right? And when they got you on the rack, they'll cut their pound of flesh off you while you're fucking racked up screaming. Maybe cut a bit more off if you scream too loud because they like it. They'll break your bones. You'll feel them crack. You hear them crack. They'll crack your skull. They'll put them in a vice and they'll crack your skull. You'll feel your own skull crack. And then over that procedure, somewhere along the line, you're going to pass out. And see, this is the thing about hell. You're dead and you're a soul. And that soul can reconstitute. You can respawn in hell. That's why they got spawn in hell. where that movie Spawn comes from. Because you can respawn in hell again and again and again for all eternity. Because you are now in hell. So when you wake up, you're going to look and your body's going to be fully reconstituted. That flesh that they cut away is going to be like it was never cut away. And then they're going to do the same thing to you again. For all eternity. That's hell. And you're going to go through that forever. You're going to feel it. Every day you're going to pass out after they crack your skull and every single bone in your body. And then you're going to wake up and they're going to do it again. And that's going to be your life for the rest of eternity. And there's no use whinging about it because you're in hell. And you will feel it. So don't think that you won't feel it. Because you will. Every single second. Terrible. But that's what hell is. That's the true hell. Does it not sound like hell? Imagine that. You can't go nowhere. You're locked up. You get beat the shit out every day. They suck you to a rack. They cut your guts out. They garrote you. They pull it all out like they did to old poor Braveheart. They do all that to you. And somewhere along the line after they've broken and smashed your body up, you pass out from the pain because you can't die because you're already dead. Right? But you will feel the pain like you are dying. You pass out from the pain. And when you open your eyes again, whether it's only a split second, you're going to start crying and screaming because your body will be in you again. And they'll just do it to you again. And again and again and again. Till the end of time. That's how terrible hell is. Very terrible place. This fiery pit, that's only if you're fucking being really bad. Because the really bad ones, well, they'll torture them for a little while. Chuck a few bloody rough ends of the pineapples up them. And their souls are really evil, see, so they burn more furious. So that's what they keep the fire of hell going with. And then they burn in there, and they feel that too. And after about a few centuries, that soul evaporates, and is no longer written in the book of life. No one will remember you at all. You'll be like you never was. And that's a fact. Mountain Goat Productions, I've got a friend in Arizona who has a farm. He promised me a place to stay, plus I could work on his farm. He said, yeah, well, that's a good opportunity. You got to be a little bit wise, keep your eye up, but that's actually a good opportunity. If you're going to be working on a farm and get paid for it, and they're going to give you a little humpy out the side there, or a room where you've got your, I suppose you probably have to pay for your own for food and that, but you never know. Some of those places, I know, like the emu farms, because they're so out in the desert and right out in the outback. You'll get given a little dong a day, a little hut for yourself. They'll fully provision it, right, with food and that you need, and you get paid because you've got to go and deal with bloody collecting emus and turning the emus into leather, collecting their feathers, getting the eggs. And I tell you what, if you ever smelt rotten eggs, well, you ain't smelt nothing until you've been to an emu farm, and you've got to go to the pile where all the rotten eggs and the dead emus have to go, because it ain't nice. You've got to have a strong stomach, because it's pretty smelly. But yes, that's a good life. You're still pulling in $1,500 a week, because emu eggs now, it depends on how much you're pulling in. If you're pulling in money that you can save and still live on that farm while you're working, that's a good deal. But if you're there and you're on that farm working just to survive, well, how are you going to ever go forward? You might be stuck there working for that guy all the time. But if they've offered that, I would take the offer, because it sounds like a good deal. Especially if I know that covers a lot of things. Oh, I'm lucky that wasn't connected then, otherwise there would have been a whole calamity. Well, I'm going to get this power back in. That is a good deal. That's like working on the mines, really. The fly in, fly out. You fly up there for 3 weeks, work on the mine, all your food and that's supplied there, all your sleeping arrangements. If you want any luxuries, you have to pay for them yourself. You still get the 1 or 2 days off up there to go around. It's not like you're working full on time. Right, and then you come home for the 2 weeks, and you enjoy the money that you made up there. But if you're going to be living there and you've got no place to live and they offer that, well, take the offer, I'd say, if you can afford it. Because you've got to, but you always remember, leave yourself a backup option. Because you might go up there and you might not like it, right? So you might get yourself stuck in a situation that you don't really want to be in. So just keep that in mind. Very hard to do that, going to a place and actually working there. I done that when I was 17, 16, 17, out on the farm, just down the road here, off King Road. So I learned how to ride horses and equestrian and jump horses and stuff. So I had a good experience. 16, turning 17 down there. That was really good. Yes. I've also had the experience of having my arms up both ends of a horse. You know? To the shoulder fucking blade. Right in. Oh, yeah. With old Mrs. Mayer, because we was in the Gistment farm for horses as well. And Mrs. Mayer, she was old Trot's horse. Old Trot and carriage, and she was always a winner. Yeah. And mad horse rider. And she was pregnant. And she was having trouble with having a foal. And well, she had it where the foal was the wrong way around. The only way that you can birth that foal then is you've got to reach both arms in her vagina, right? While you've got the sphincter right there and farting all over you, tail and all that, you've got to push it right in, and you've got to fucking turn that foal around and bring it out. A lot of blood, a lot of fucking shit all over you, all kinds of stuff. But, I've done that, and then I've had Horace. Now, Horace, he must have had Clydesdale blood in him, because he was 19 and a half hands high, and that's a big horse. And the Little Colonel, when you was riding Little Colonel, was on a little 15 hand high horse. When you're riding over the jumps with him doing the equestrian, if he doesn't want to go over the jump and he stops, you fly straight over him. That's not a problem. You can handle that. But with Horace, he was so big that if he did that there, you'd fly straight into the back of his head and near on break your nose and have all fucking blood running down because he was so big. Now Horace, he could jump anything. But a horse sees things in a magnified way. So you got a show jumping horse, and they can jump like 2-3 meters high. Well, how are we keeping them in a paddock that's only like a meter high? They can jump that quite easily. But the horse has got a vision thing happening. That's why when you go to put your hand up the horse, they always go back. Because they see like three times as I see like a huge hand like that. When it should be like this. They see it a bit more magnified. That's why they're a bit jumpy. All my friends, no shit, Mick, they won't approach horses like that. They won't approach big animals like that. They're not like me. No, they're scared of horses. And I said, well, that's the first thing why you get the problem with the horse. And they said, why? Because the horse can smell whether you're scared. Literally, when you get on that horse, and that horse has been taught how someone to ride him, he can tell whether you know what you're doing or not. Right? Whether you're leading him or he has to lead you. You could be just sitting on the horse playing, I'm riding a horse, look at me. And the horse looks back and there's nothing you doing about riding me. Fuck, I'm taking you for a trip. And that's a fact, You've got to actually ride the horse. Take command of it, otherwise they won't respect you. And they'll fucking jump you off. Yeah, they sense it. They sense it, right? That's the thing. When you go and take animals to slaughter, I don't mean to go bad way. When you take animals to slaughter, only pigs and horses can smell what's happening. Pigs, they can smell death happening. They start squealing, carrying on straight away. All the other animals are very docile when you knock them off, but old horses can smell it. And when they smell it, their testosterone level goes right up through the roof inside them. And they start whinnying and they start pissing a hell of a lot. So when you go to a horse farm, right, before you go into the queue floor, there's a drain on the bottom of the floor there. Now, because this testosterone is so high in the horse's fucking urine and that, because they know they're going to die. And they know what's happening. At the knackery farm, right, all that they piss, they continuously piss. It's highly full of testosterone. It goes into that drain gets collected, then they filter that drain, and they dry it out, and they get the testosterone out of it, and they put the testosterone into the medical industry. That's how you get most of your testosterone. It's not from people, it's not genetic. It comes from horse piss, from an acre farm. A lot of things that we have in society come from a rendering plant, where it's dead, rotted animals put into a pot and boiled down so you can reconstitute all the fats and acids of them. The best perfume in the world is made from whale spew, so you work that out. And that's worth fucking thousands and thousands of dollars. But that's it, you know? That's how it is. Might say I'm sound cruel, sound thing, but look at the way we do things. Look at all the chemicals we put in our foods. I mean, especially that one I was watching about arsenic. You know, like them, they did a test. They just did a test. I did a short on a few months ago, a month or so ago, a couple of months ago on it. They did a test on all your favourite lollies and all your favourite biscuits and chips and chocolates all around the world. And you'd be quite surprised how they all supersede. If you have so many of that a year, how they supersede the amount of arsenic you're supposed to be putting in your body a year. That's fucking safe. Well, you know those little nerds? They top the whole list. You know the ones little nerds with all those little bloody sugary things in it? And they have hundreds in there sometimes. 20 nerds, 20 of those little tiny thing nerds. There's enough arsenic in there to be over a year's dosage. And they fucking pour them down. Rat poison. Most will be rat poison. Snickers bars, fucking chocolates, all that type of stuff. It's all got a balance, like a 12 Snickers bars is your limit for arsenic for the year. Because there's that much arsenic in Snickers. Look at how they manufacture this. And most of how they make these, it's just like a drug lab. The ice bloody home bake mob around here. How they get that? Well, they'll go to the Bunnings store or the bloody supermarket. They'll buy the base chemicals. But inside those base chemicals is the actual chemical they need to make the ice. So they got to cook off all that shit to get to that. And every time they fucking do that, there's a little bit of residue left. That's why some ice tastes funny. It's got all different flavors, no type of different shit. But they got to bake it out. There's no difference in the food industry in the way they come up with chemicals now. They got to bake those roaches out, bake the shit out the roaches before they can make it into that nice fucking cream that you eat inside of those cream biscuits, right? You have to go and get that animal, wait till it eats the fucking coffee bean, then you go scrape this fucking shit out. So basically you're fucking drinking shit, right? And then it's good to make that the best coffee in the fucking world. From animal's ass. You're drinking shit. It's already fucking been gone through an animal and been fucking shat out. You know? What's next? Are we going to go fucking finding bloody owls, bloody cuds that they bloody spew up? And start looking for that little fucking silver speck? Huh? Like those owls in that Guardian movie. I wanted them to make a second one of that. Would have been good. I've read the book. The book is far better than the movie. Far better, a whole different story. You know? But that's it. That's how we're going to go. Yeah, well, if you worked in the food industry like I've had, because I worked in the veggie industry and I worked in the meat industry, and I tell you what, you wouldn't fucking eat a lot of things that we got if you knew how they were made. There's a lot of money to be had to turn round vegetables into square ones. But to have that, well, you've got to have all the bleach solutions. You've got to have all the fucking chlorine solutions properly to keep it sanitized. And then you've got to go and get the metabolosulfate, which turns black potatoes back to white. It's a preservative. It's such a preservative that when you open up and smell it, it almost knocks you out. Yeah, well, it almost knocks you out, that one. And you could put green tainted meat in there, dip it in that, and in half an hour pull it back out, and it'll be red like it was just cut off the animal. And that's what they do. They hang meat. When you hang meat, sometimes it goes off. If you don't got the freezer right, or sometimes it might have a microwave on it. Makes it go off. But yeah, they try to preserve everything. They try. I mean, look, here's one. I mean, we're not this bad, but during the Chernobyl, when Chernobyl first happened, and all that radiation got into the ground, or it infected 20,000 prime steers, cattle, for meat. So they chopped all of them up, put them in big freezer container fucking things on trains, and tried to ship it around Europe, trying to sell it off. Everyone said, no, we don't want that. Everyone, no, we don't want that. Don't want that. Managed to put it into other meats, and a lot of it got fucking sold. They still ended up with about 20 carriages full of this shit. And of course, those freezer container carriages started running down. No one was maintaining them, keeping the fuel up. So eventually they had to go and bury them on a toxic waste farm. So, the meat was tainted. Anyone who ate their meat would have got sick, probably died. But yet they were still trying to race it around nonetheless because it's all prime quality meat. They didn't want to waste it. So how much does our country do that to us? Well, how much does America does that to their own people? And it sure as hell does. You can't tell me we've got something going on. McDonald's alone, the amount of beef burgers that puts out a day in meals, just the McDonald's alone, let alone all the other places around the world that deal with beef. Where are they getting all these cows from? Think about it. I don't see many of them around, paddocks full. Not like the way we eat. You think about that. They push out 1 billion burgers a day. 1 billion burgers a day. Whether that be breakfast, lunch, or tea. 1 billion beef patties. You put those 1 billion beef patties together, how much is that? That's what fucking a herd of 20 million cattle a day. That's being eaten. Then you got every single other beef product in the world. They all claim that it's the one Angus beef and all this here. All the meat pies, all the butchers. Where is it coming from? The fact that they birth them, right, and leave them in a shed and grain feed them, is one reason why we might not see them, because those animals don't even see the light of day. Shit, if you have on YouTube, they're growing bloody sheep inside of bags. Oh, here we go. This is the first sheep that was grown outside the womb, in this artificial womb that we've got here. Women have the power and the technology now available to them, and the storage of sperm, that they could wipe men out, and you can still carry on. And vice versa. We don't need the womb no more, ladies. We've got the artificial one. Look it up in Germany. They want to make a whole compound, just like the cloning facility you see in fucking Star Wars. Over in Germany, they've got a stadium-sized facility where they can manufacture 5,000 to 6,000 babies at a time, or clones, all grown in vats. No, they could either grow them at a fucking regular rate or an accelerated rate like they do in the Star Wars. And then they give them an injection to stop that acceleration once they reach working age or sex age, whatever they want to do with those people. But they've got the technology now. Man can wipe woman right off the scope. We don't need you. And woman can do the same to man with the technology available. But wouldn't it be better to walk together side by side, whether we're sexually orientated towards each other or not? We could still be friends. That's how silly it is. And one day that's going to happen. You've got feminists out there, plain and simple, want to wipe man completely off the map. Man should be castrated at birth, they say. That's a new one. I want to choose the bear. Okay, that bear will fuck you every time. A man, not every man, is going to attack you if they see you running around out in the forest. In fact, he's likely to be just as scared as you are. You'll find a lot of men will chuck their hands up like a girl too. That's a fact. So not every man is going to fucking come and attack you or do something to you. But if you go out there and you look a little make-believe fucking mind and think I can go with the bears. Well, that bear's going to fuck you every time. And I'm telling you now, you want to hope that bear's not in fucking rutting season, because it's going to fuck you a whole different way before it eats you. You become a bush bride. You understand the term of bush bride when it rapes you before it eats you, because bears are that way inclined. Say with kangaroos. Kangaroo has got a bite fucking force stronger than a bear. Did you know that, Nick? If you're there, I spun out on that fact, but it's a true fact. They can actually, their bite strength is stronger than a bear, even though they've only got a small mouth. But yeah, a male kangaroo's in rutting season, whether you're a female or not. Well, if you're a female and you're on your monthlies, you don't want to be going next to no rutting male kangaroo, because he's going to jump all over you. He try to give you something that you don't want. It happens. He can do it. He just put his arm around, come here, love, big ironing arms, and you're going nowhere then. And he'll have his little way with you. But that's what they are. They're like that. It's like dolphins. Dolphins do the same to men or women. They'll fucking attack them and bloody sexually attack them too. See, so humans are not the only ones that do such a thing. Animals do that too. Right? But that bear is not in that sort of thing. Well, you see the size of a bear claw? A bear claw is bigger than both those hands like that. With the fucking claws up like that. Long claws like that. They just go like that. It goes through the car like it was fucking nothing. Bit of paper. You know? Fuck that. That bear just going to rip your chest open. Eat the insides, because animals usually eat the insides because they're the softest part and they gain the most energy. And they waste time and they're going to chew meat and flesh. So they eat the innards quickly in case they get fought by another bear offered to kill. Right? So they go for the soft parts first. So they eat all the insides. And because they don't want any other bear eating that, they might want to come and eat you later. So they'll shit in that bloody cavity that they just ate out and mark their territory. So that's how you're going to get fucked if you decide to go with the bear. It'll fuck you every time, one way or another. Don't think I'm some naturalist and the bear's going to come. No, hello, bear. The bear's going to fuck see his food. Especially if you're out there by yourself. And especially if you're on your monthlies, well, you might as well just cut yourself and be in a fucking pool of piranhas. Hello, guys, how are you going? There's no blokes fucking the same thing. You know? Blokes the same thing. It's like out there, when you get cut, you got to be careful. You got to fucking heal yourself up, and don't leave much of a trail or try to cover it up, because the big bung arrows out there and some of the snakes, they get attracted to that smell of blood, and to them that's a free feed, so they'll fucking chase you up. You could have a bit of problems. Then you got the wild dog. He's the main problem out there, the wild dog. Not so much the dingo, unless the dingo is very hungry and they think they can take you if they got a pack. They might attack you then. But dingo, usually they'll piss boat the other way, full blood dingo. It's only when they got that domesticated dog in them that they'll come and attack you. I got chased by 3 dogs once. It's pretty fucking scary. A German Shepherd and 2 Rottweilers running around out there, skinny as buggery, right out the middle of nowhere. I spotted them. But the bloody German Shepherd put his head up and turned around, he spotted me too. And they all come around the way they'll come. Well, I drove back to the car before they got there. They come over the hill looking for me, but I was already gone. An old Rottweiler was fucking confused, looked like that, but they were looking to eat me. And that's what they do. That's what they do. Take you up the bloody Leverton in West Australia, right out in the red dirt country. Oh, gee, all the dogs around there. Fucking hundreds of them. They run in packs. Certain times at night that you don't go outside that bush area unless you go right away from it there, because they run in packs and they'll fucking drag you away. And one time, someone did something really bad up there. It upset the little people, the wood archies. And well, the wood archies, they tormented the shit right out of all those dogs and all that people in the town by throwing stones on their roofs and stuff. And all those dogs were howling and bloody squealing. Because the dog, right? Anyone grabs a dog's tail, they're going to naturally turn around and defend that fight. Only one time I have not seen that happen. When I seen a little wood archie man had a hold of my dog's tail, and it actually bent it, so it actually dislocated the bone and made the tail have a permanent bend. but the dog was sit there shivering and didn't want to bite that hand touching it. Okay? I didn't see the whole of it because there's only his hand hanging out the bush there. So, hey, little bug, and quickly let him go, and my dog quickly ran between my feet. Right? And you could be the biggest, craziest dog in the world, but they shit from those little fellas. I spun out. So that gave me a little bit of a thinking. But that guy out there, he's not frightened of no one, except those little guys. So if I acted like one of them, dressed up like one of them, which I know how to do, and I grabbed hold of his tail, oh, he shit himself. He shit himself good and proper. Yes, like a kid, that one. Well, been on for over hour 17. I could hear the door there closing and opening. It's probably my nephew wanting to live home. Little pain in the arse, really. How'd you get that? Well, I'll go through with it. I don't care what the bloke does. You better have well, let's have some dinner. That's it. That's it. I think you'll often find some of you girls will be better out in the bush, fucking, and probably be feeding that bloke because he don't know what fucking do. You'll be quite surprised about that. Yeah, well, that's the one thing, finding food in the Australian bush, unless you really know what to look for. Straight off the bat, you kind of have to start, really have to hunt for it. And although there's no wildlife everywhere, I'd been out in the bush for days out in the bush and not see nothing but bird wildlife. And then on the way home, just before you get to the main city, that's when you see all the kangaroos and shit. Crazy. Sometimes I've gone out there and it's been wildlife packed. But, yeah. All right, this is Archangel Michael signing off for now. Lips getting a bit dry, a little bit nauseous, actually. Must be the blood pressure kicking in. Gotta go and sit down and relax. All right, Archangel Michael signing off for now. Thank you, Nick. You guys. No Temple was there. And what other people pop in the chat? Remember, better than a walk. Yeah, well, it sounds like you're in Australia. Put the money on the fridge, Wog. That's what my mother is, because she's a Cypriot Greek, and that's what the Greeks call themselves. So I'm half Wog too. And my partner, she actually really liked that Alex Demetriadis, the Wog. Give it a fist like east. There's a girl. Idiot. We'll get that. I don't know why I like that. I like that. There's a couple of real funny names that go into JD's chat. I don't think I can say them because it's pretty rude, but yeah, they're really good names. Really good names. People come up with some good names. Honey. All right. This is Archangel Michael signing off for now. He's going to drink his drink right there, and he's going to relax and cool down. I think I'm getting flushed because I put this mask on. I get sweaty under this mask. Yeah. Well, demodded for a little while, worked it out. I kind of reckon they popped in and watched that live I had. Made them feel a little bit, bad that they did me the same way as Maggie. Because that's how it was. She fucking, come on now, it's a bit rude. But anyway, that's all sorted, all under the bridge now. They turned around, picked me back up, and now me and Nick are diving with the mermaids. So, Nick, save some for me, girl. Those mermaids are all bisexual, okay? See you guys later, and thanks for popping in. It's good to have friends.